Well, hello again, and welcome to another exciting episode of Australian Preppers. I'm just kidding, of course. Although today I am wearing a different version of Australian urban camouflage. Yesterday you saw me wearing the grey and white, inspired by German U-boats, and today I'm wearing the more traditional Australian camouflage. As you can see, if I was to stand out in the backyard wearing this shirt, I would be completely invisible. Now, the beach sand inspector provided some interesting feedback, something I hadn't actually considered, so thank you very much for that, Mr. Beach Sand Inspector. And that was that by using an AC breaker here, I might have problems with overheating or it not breaking. And I thought, I hadn't thought of that. So let's see if it does actually trip. Now, I've got a couple of wires here, and I've with crocodile clips on that I have connected to my Anderson connector. Now, before we do anything with that, I'm just going to zero the meter. Okay, that's 0.6 of an ohm. Now from here to here, okay, that's 0.3. That's 0.3 of an ohm. Yeah, that's 0.3 of an ohm. And from here to here is 0.3 of an ohm. That's a bit disappointing. So I equals V over R, so 0.3 of an ohm that way, 0.3 of an ohm that way, that's 0.6 of an ohm, so that's going to be 12 divided by 0.6 equals 20 amps. That's not going to be enough, is it? That's not going to be enough to trip it. So I equals, so R equals V over I. So if I want, so we'll clear that, so 12 divided by, let's say 35 amps equals 0.34 ohms. So I need half of that resistance, and I've only got wire. This wire's too thin, probably, that's what it is. I'll turn that off just in case. I know it's ridiculous, isn't it? I've just calculated that if I short those together, it's only going to draw 20 amps and it's not going to trip. And I'm worried about shorting them together. Mind you, they'll get hot probably. So what I need to do is figure out, is get an Anderson plug. Just get another Anderson plug. And put a, what did I say, 0.34, let's say 35 amps. So R will equal V over I. 12 divided by, say, let's see, say 35 should blow it probably. Yeah, 0.34 ohms. So what I need to do is get a actually one of these bits of wire would be enough, wouldn't it? If I could, if I removed one piece of wire, but I don't want to tarnish the inside of my Anderson connector. That's the thing. That's why I've got the two crocodile clips. You see, if I just got one of these leads and then just touched it in there, that would be the 0.3 ohms. And the 0.3 ohms should give me more than that. I mean, I equals V over R, so that's 12 divided by 0.3 equals, yes, that would be 40 amps. That would be more than enough to, that should trip it. So if I just had one of these bits of wire, that should trip it. But I don't want it to go bang and tarnish my, these are $10 each, these Anderson connectors, so I don't want to muck that up. So I'll figure out a way of testing that without destroying it. I've actually got I've got an Anderson connector here that I was at the Christmas barbecue yesterday for the Hills Amateur Radio Group in Perth, Australia, and Al VK6KIF said, "Oh, see if those connectors you got from the local shop are compatible with these Anderson connectors." And actually, Al gave me a very good good tip yesterday. He was saying that, you know, I showed you how to, well, I showed you me soldering the wires onto the Anderson connector pin buckets, and because I'm using fairly thin wire, Al said yes, the correct technique is, you know, you strip it back, and then using copper wire you bind it until it's the right diameter to fill the bucket, and then you solder it. Now, I didn't do that, so that's a very good tip from Al VK6KIF, and thanks for that, Al. Now, in answer to your question, Al, if you're watching this video, these connectors from the local store do have Anderson written on them, and perhaps not surprisingly they are compatible with the ones you gave me, so you've got no worries there. And I did think, well, as this isn't my connector, I could always put that on there and use that one. But looking inside it, this is no consideration to Al, of course, but sorry about that, Al. The pins are a bit tarnished, and probably the resistance through this tarnishing would be more than the 0.3 ohms. Actually, I could try that, couldn't I? I could actually check that. Well, mind you, I don't want to destroy your connector. You might want to use it again. You are a radio ham after all, and you know, we are nothing if we are not a little more than a tad careful with money. All right, well, how can we do this so that it will trip without actually destroying anything? Let's take that off of there. If I get this, actually, what I could do, I could just touch it in there, couldn't I? I could touch it in there and see if that gives me a trip, because if it makes the back of that connector a little bit, you know, sooty, it doesn't matter, does it? It's not actually a connecting point as such. So maybe I should try that. Now, if I disappear in a blinding flash, all right, well, let's try it. Hang on, before I try it, I'm just going to measure the resistance. Between here. Okay, so let's first get the reference. That's 0.6. So from there to there. So from there to there. Can't be open circuit. From there to there. No, that can't be right. That's saying 1.2 ohms. So that's 0.6. That's still not going to be enough. So I could touch that in there. I could confidently touch that in there, and it won't trip that off. It would only draw, I don't know, what would it draw? 12 divided by 0.6, and that's only one leg, equals 20 amps. So that would only draw 20 amps. All that's going to do is make this hot, even just for a second if I put that on there. But if I, so what's the resistance on this leg? So that's 0.1. That's 0.1. Yeah. Now that's saying, okay, so my reference is 0.6. Yeah, 0.6. Now that's saying that's 0.6. Okay. All right, well, let's try it. Let's just see if it trips. So if that can't be 0.6, can it? It can't have no resistance, otherwise, and no, you can't be my agent if I've discovered something. That's saying 0.5. And of course, the WA Repeater Group net has just started. So I'll continue this on another video. And, well, I hope you found that interesting or fun, or both. Thanks for watching.